Tonight on CBC, a special presentation. The 1996 Governor General's Performing Arts Awards.
The Governor General's Performing Arts Awards 1996. Presented by Bell Canada and Northern Telecom, in association with the Financial Post. Produced by the Governor General's Performing Arts Awards Foundation, the National Arts Centre, Mellon Bay Robertson Productions, and the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation.
This weekend of celebrations for the Governor General's Performing Arts Awards begins at the home of the Governor General, where the recipients formally receive their awards. Whether for theatre, ballet, opera, or film, François Barbeau is Quebec's most prolific costume designer. The exceptional style and quality of his creations have earned him national acclaim in a career that has spanned 4 decades. Martha Henry was the first graduate of the National Theatre School, and her illustrious reputation as an actor, director, and artistic director has garnered her national and international adoration and acclaim. Film director, producer, cinematographer, and screenwriter Michel Brault is recognized for the exceptional achievements of a 30-year career. Canadian cultural icon Joni Mitchell is one of Canada's greatest gifts to the world of popular music. Her songs, with their eloquently personal lyrics and rich melodic background, have influenced a generation of singer-songwriters. Music legend Luc Plamondon has indelibly stamped his own personality on the Canadian, the French, and more recently, British music scene. He receives his Lifetime Achievement Award in recognition of a remarkable 35-year career. Educator, administrator, choreographer, and mentor to so many of us in the dance world, Grant Stratty is honored for his contributions to professional dance in Canada. Classical pianist John Kimura Parker is the recipient of the National Arts Centre Award for his international success and superb performances in the last year. The recipient of the 1996 Raymond John Natition Award for volunteerism in the performing arts is Martha Lou Henley for her outstanding and generous contributions to the performing arts community in Vancouver.
If you heard the music of Sarah McLachlan, we can sense your anticipation. If you haven't, the next 4 minutes will convert you. Here she is performing Joni Mitchell's Hypnotic Blue.
Songs I like to choose
How do you pay tribute to a legend? With another legend, of course. Here's K.D. Lang.
Thank you. I met Joni Mitchell at a record business function a few years ago. There I was, face to face with the single most important influence on my artistic life. For the first time in my life, I had nothing to say. I was simply intimidated by greatness. Joni possesses an extraordinary gift, a gift of intense vision, intricately weaving imagery with a deep, introspective understanding, a timeless vision. She is one of the great authors of emotional doctrine. A painter with music as well as the canvas, she has captured the very essence of life with a perspective which is deeply rooted in the Canadian prairies. Her work has afforded us a romantic view into our culture, rich and vast as the country itself. To me, Joni has set the ultimate standard for what a Canadian artist should be: honest, uncompromising, an undaunted integrity, an artist fully engaged in their work. For Joni, creating is a necessity in her music, in her painting, and in her life. Joni Mitchell is a work of art, a true cultural treasure.
Joni Mitchell ranks among the most influential women of her generation in pop music, both for her example as a self-directed artist who has maintained complete control of her career in a male-dominated industry, and for the asymmetrical, lyric-driven melodies and breezy vocal style copied by so many other performers.
For 20 or 30 years, a lot of outlets have been closed to me, and yet I'm still in the game, but I'm in the game, but not of the game. This is what happens because the business is really a sprinter's business, and I'm a long-distance runner. So it's taken a long time to be recognized.
Over the course of her 30-year career, Joni Mitchell has appeared in many musical guises, from spare acoustic folk to rock and jazz. After having been passed over twice by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, she was finally inducted. A white female rock performer is still considered somewhat of an oddity.
I can rock too. I mean, there is rock and roll in some of my records, but it's not all I do. Anyway, they had to put me in. I'm in there now, I guess.
Awards and honors include 4 Grammys out of 9 nominations, Billboard Magazine's Century Award for Distinguished Creative Achievement, a 1981 induction into the Juno Hall of Fame, and in 1996, she became the first woman to win the Polar Music Prize, awarded by the Royal Swedish Academy of Music, in recognition of her many-sided artistic achievement, distinguished by personality of expression, ambitious lyrics, and technical perfection.
Well, I educated myself just by my own interests. I was drawn. All my artistic growth has come through what I admired. Ooh, if I admired it, I really looked at it, or if I really listened to it. And I absorbed it by osmosis, and sooner or later that influence came out without emulation so much as just, ooh, you know, just, that's how I have learned. Whereas my time spent in art school, everything that I wanted to do, I was told was out of vogue.
A veritable cultural icon, one of a handful of performers who defined folk music, Joni Mitchell is not only one of Canada's greatest gifts to the world of music, but she is also recognized for her talents as a visual artist. Her paintings have been exhibited in Canada, the United States, Europe, and Japan.
Well, I'm a poet and a painter and a musician, which is not encouraged in the Western world, because the Western world takes its departure from Socrates. You know, if you read Plato's Republic, when he creates his utopia, which is kind of the foundation of the Western thought, right? He creates a utopia in which it's a society of specialists, and we've gone this way so that, you know, if you are a poet and a painter and a musician, the assumption is that only one is authentic, but they're all very related. The painting came first, then there was an inclination to the music, but the classical education up there, typically they rapped my knuckles, you know, for playing by ear. They drowned out. Why would you want to, you know, compose when you could have the masters under your fingertips, you know? So they tried to beat the creativity out through the ignorance of the educational system, and it did go dormant for quite a while. First of all, Canada should see my painting, because I'm a very Canadian painter. Well, if you look at my album covers, they're all Court and Spark, that's the British Columbia coastline. For the Roses, the British Columbia coastline. Clouds is the Besborough Hotel and the provincial flower of Saskatchewan. You know, people aren't really paying close attention. They say to me, what side of the border did you write that song on? I said, what difference does it make if I write a song about Maidstone when I'm in New York, or a song about New York when I'm in Saskatoon? You know, like, you carry these things with you. Yeah, I was never border conscious. I was never, you know, the lines, you can't go there. Why not? Well, they're different from us. So what? That makes them interesting. Those lines they couldn't teach me those lines very well, you know. And that big line that divides, we're North Americans. So whenever I come back, they say, well, do you still think of yourself as a Canadian? Well, do you still think of me as a Canadian? Well, I guess you do, because I'm getting this award.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joni Mitchell.